And welcome back to the Crypto Hulk Show. I kind of wanted to start early today. I got a lot of really kind of exciting news, a lot of mysterious news, like what the hell is going on with this and that kind of stuff, right? Very, very interesting. So I wanted to start a little early. I know some people won't be here. That'll be fine. Let's just, somebody was saying that LAES announced an investment into WeCan. Very interesting. Aren't you guys glad some of you got into that WeCan crypto I was talking about? I tell you what, man. So on the Crypto Hulk Show, you not only get the best deep dive news, I'll come up with cryptos that everybody see. It's not going to be just on a private channel. Crypto Hulk is part of the solution. The problem is we all need to get rich. That's the problem. And the solution is you watch Crypto Hulk Show. I give away cryptos that are going to be amazing for free. Because I'm trying to do my job to help my fellow human being. It's not just in a private group where only certain rich people can go. That's how my channel's based, where I'm truly trying to help everybody get to where they need to go. I do have opportunities so you can give a donation or a membership. I do my best to have an open show for about 5 years. So some people out there can't afford to go to a private group and pay $100 a month, or you know how a lot of these channels were doing all that stuff, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. I make my channel available to whoever, because I'm trying, the world, everybody's like, there's so much greed and I don't know, jealousy and all that bad stuff. It's just like when you watch Crypto Hulk Show, you're going to get the very deep dive news articles at times. You're going to get Truth Channel. You're going to get my opinion. Some of you want it, some of you don't. That's fine. Like the more information you get, then you can make a better decision on your own. So we're going to go over some stuff today. Oh, there's Michael Ward. Michael Ward, thanks for that donation. Says, still in WeCan, appreciate you. Look, and it brings up another point. When you're early in a investment and there's no regulation, there's no this, there's no that. Look, the price goes all over the place. Price doesn't matter. What I want you to focus on, see what dumb people and dumb channels focus on price, okay? Now, price for us on this channel, when things are low enough, we buy. That's when we care about price on Crypto Hulk channel, is when we want to buy something. Other than that, price is going up, down, left, right, whatever. It don't matter. You invest in what I'll do is I'll deep dive news and information, and you have to make a decision on if you like things and if you want to invest in them. I'm very much against everything. Very skeptical on pretty much a lot of things. So what I do personally is I'll deep dive something and I'll present it to you. If you're interested, great. If you're not, I really don't care. Some of the cryptos that I talk about, I invest in. Some of the cryptos I'll teach you about, I don't invest in. I'm very open and honest about whatever it is. I can get into trouble with the SEC and all these things if I'm promoting cryptos and then dumping them and selling them. So that's why I tell you, sometimes I just don't buy shit. Like if I buy something, see, I'm in a tough position because I can't pump and dump like you can because I'm on a show. So it's kind of like that, because it starts getting illegal at that point, right? So you're in a better position than me because I can't really, when I buy shit, except once I bought Doge and then pumped it and dumped it or whatever on purpose. I told everybody when this thing goes, I'm going to sell it at a certain point, and I did. But that's what my show is. Like, you kind of figure out, like the Weekend, I never bought it. The Really Tech, I never bought it. You know, like different cryptos I'll talk about. I've talked about a lot of different ones. And I haven't invested in them. So, because it's like my job is just to show you information that I find. That's what my job is, to show you information. And you have to decide whether you want to buy something or not. I mean, I don't know, whatever. It's your fucking money, you know? So I'm simply just providing information and a perspective. Then you take my information, you listen to my perspective, and then you got to decide, maybe watch another channel and learn. So the more different places, like, look, if I have to make a decision, you know, about something I don't know, I'm going to want to talk to at least 2 or 3 people and kind of get a perspective. So that's really all that we're doing on this channel. My name's Crypto Hawk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor. Don't buy anything you see on this channel. Don't sell anything you might see on this channel. Before every show, I get really high. I snort cocaine, inject heroin, all kinds of drugs and shit like that. Oh, absolutely. So don't listen to anything because it's all drug induced. Now, I hired a new financial advisor. He's right here.
I see you over there. Yes, you. Come on over and let Zoltar be sharing with you your fortune.
So that's another thing. Zoltar is part of the show. Just to be transparent, Zoltar predicts and gives me all my information. So whatever financial advice you think you're getting from me, it's actually coming from the toy. All right. All right. All righty. Now we got 7 o'clock. Wait, no, we don't. Yeah, we do. It's 7 a.m. Okay. On the dot, 7 a.m. on the dot. Let's start the show, Crypto Hulk. Okay. First thing, YT seriously has chopped my viewership down from 1.4 million views a month, all the way down to about 630,000 people. So we're looking at 50% at least. What I would like for you to do is every show, make sure you put a comment in the top chat. And after the show, the same thing. Put like a small sentence or something like that. That way we can show that we have interaction, which helps the algo. And I won't say rhythm because I know that they're monitoring my show, and that's for show. Next, like this video to your favorites. Save this video to your favorites. Next one is share this video with as many people as you can. And lastly, get 8 videos, put them on a playlist. Now, if you want to turn off the volume, use your keyboard, not the YT control panel where you click in the bottom left corner of the screen and mute something or whatever. You got to use your panel because YT will know that you're playing an 8-hour playlist and you're not watching the show. Then they alert me. Okay, I get alerted to that. They call it, I forgot the term, but it's kind of like manipulating their advertisers and algorithms. So when you play that 8-hour video, you're supposed to be watching the whole thing, not play the 8-hour, hit the mute button and walk away. So, but because they're going to know if you use the YT app or the YT computer and you go to they're going to know unless you control your volume with that. What I want you to do, because the show is being recorded, I want you to listen to the full 8 hours every day. Don't cheat YT, okay? Just like YT cheats me, you're not supposed to cheat them, okay? And the reason we're doing all these things is because we like interaction on the show. We love interaction. We love letting that 8 hours just play on the video. We're not trying to manipulate any statistics, okay? That's what we're not trying to do. I just want to make sure that's clear because it's being recorded. So what if you're deaf and you just read lips? They're still going to notify me. I had one guy one time was saying he had like 4 days worth of Crypto Hulk and just let it play. Well, YT notified me of that. I'm not going to tell you the exact language and stuff they use, but they said, according to our investigation, one of your viewers allegedly blah, 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 blah. So they alert me when shit like that happens. So they said this person's account, you'll no longer get credit for. So you kind of like, when you do something that's too much, like 4 days worth of Crypto Hulk on a loop, hey, I appreciate it, but YT's going to know. And then especially when you don't use your keyboard to mute the volume, you mute it with YT's own control. 8 hours a day is good enough while you're driving and working and stuff. Of course, you're listening the whole time. Greatly appreciate that. Okay. It's glitching bad today. Yeah, because I've got great news. And I've got Zoltar, so.
I see you over there.
Oh, hey, go back to sleep. All right. Let's go to the Philippines. And I want to show you right here. I want to show you Zoltar needs a Zebek price prediction. Oh my God, that would be nice. Oh my God. All right, I want to show you some stuff because I've been really looking. I've seen these articles and I read them before in the past, but now that I'm re-looking at articles again, and I'm kind of like, well, you know what? I have a feeling that it looks like Ripple's intention from day one was to control all the money. And so now here's my, we're going to do some speculation here. The government is Ripple. I've already shown all that. Ripple's a contractor for the government. I've shown that evidence on the Ripple page. They took it off, but Ripple actually told people. Ripple actually had on their website that they are a government contractor, subcontractor. Oh, man. I told everybody that, and then Ripple the next day took it off their website. It's gone, but it was there. Very interesting. Now, we're looking here at an article from the 23rd, so that's probably 4 days ago. The Philippines, they have something called East-West Bank. It's in the Philippines. They just hooked up with Temenos. Now, that's a Ripple partner. And what I was talking about early, well, let's get into this, and then I'll just explain what I mean. East-West Bank Corporation, one of the Philippines' leading universal banks, has partnered with Temenos, Ripple partner, to modernize its core bank operations. The move is part of East-West's broader strategy to enhance customer service, drive, and deliver innovative, that means brand new, innovative financial solutions at scale. Now, here's where it starts getting interesting. I won't torture you anymore with this article. Just listen to this for about 1 minute or less. By adopting Temenos Core as a software as a service, they call it SaaS, software as a service platform, for what? Retail and small to mid-size enterprises and corporate banking operations. Okay, we're all done reading the article, so you can now have a breath of relief. What is interesting about this is, I'll tell you from what, Stu Lavelle is here. Hulk, I'm blocked from your Twitter space since May 6th. Thought I'd let you know unless I was naughty. Anyway, see you in 3 days. P.S. I'm saving my money for my 80-year-old hooker. Oh, gosh, that's nasty. My Twitter, let's look this up here. I don't know what happened. I could look up. What is your Twitter handle? And I'll look it up right now. Like at Stu something or other paradise or something, or I mean, it's possible why Twitter blocked you. I didn't do it, so something must have happened. So, Stu Lavelle, if you could let me know your Twitter handle, please. Okay, at Tropical Stew 17. At Tropic. There it is. Trump is blocked. Oh, shit. Unblock. Okay, now you're unblocked, and I'll follow you. So, check it out, Stu, right now. See if you can find me. And I'm at CryptoHulk19, all one word with the capital C and a capital H for, but yeah. And I got 52.4 thousand people. So you should be unblocked. All right. I don't know what happened. Anyhow, let's get back to work here, buddy. You guys are distracting me. I'm trying to go over something here. So we've got, now this is what's interesting. In this article, you've got the Philippines hooking up with Temenos, which is a Ripple partner. Okay, that part makes sense. East-West Bank, and Ripple's all about banks. Okay, that's what they're supposed to do. Wholesale. Ripple's designed for wholesale, not retail for people like you and me and stuff. But why in this sentence here are they hooking up retail? Says it right there. They're getting East-West Bank is hooking up with Temenos for retail, small to mid-sized enterprise, and corporate banks. If you know anything about Ripple technology, it's specifically designed. See, look, you and me, we're not even supposed to have the XRP. You do understand that, right? That's why I can't be a cheerleader for Ripple and go to Ripple functions and stuff, because it's not designed for you and me. So it's kind of like cheering like a cheerleader for somebody else that's not even related to you. That's what this is. But now we're seeing right here, retail, small to mid-sized enterprise, and corporate banking. So that's wholesale. So we got, now what have I traditionally known about Circle? Is that's designed for just regular, it's like a stable coin for regular people. It's not designed for wholesale banks. Circle's not designed for traditional banks to use. That's not its customer. Now you got Stellar. From what I was understood all this time, Stellar's supposed to be for small to mid-sized enterprise, right? Right. So, and not banks. It could be for corporations or something, but it's not designed. So when I really start paying attention, why do we have Ripple technology in Temenos going after retail and small to mid-sized enterprise in the Philippines? Doesn't make sense. Now, let's go over some more articles. We're done with that article, so don't worry. Now, I'm going to show you a video I did. I'm going to show you more examples of this, but actually, I'm going to show you examples of Ripple with small to mid-sized enterprise. So now I realize with the East-West Bank, they made a partnership with Temenos, which is a Ripple partner, and not with Ripple. Okay, I got that. But the Temenos platform is running on Ripple's XRP. But let's look at some more articles so I can show you my point. And then I'll have a point maybe the whole goal with Ripple was to take over everything, including Circle and Stellar. Now, remember, Stellar came about because Jed McCaleb was working with the government in a project that we call Ripple today. So the government took over this project Ripple from Ryan Fugger and all of his friends. And then the government brought in the heavyweights, David Schwartz, Stefan Thomas, all these guys, Arthur Brito, and other people that we don't know their name that work for three-letter agencies. So here is a video that I made. And you got that video right there. Okay. So let's take a look now. Go to the 13-second mark. 13-second mark. We got a bank, so it's a real bank called Rack Bank, RAKBANK, and it runs remittance services through Ripple's BDO partnership. Now, BDO is another Ripple bank, partner bank. But what's interesting now is, hold on a second, why they talk about remittances? That's kind of getting into the small to mid-size, isn't it? Yeah. Well, here we got banks working through Ripple with remittances. See, this is what doesn't make sense to me. Look, I'm not saying I have the answers. All I'm saying is I'm not understanding this. If Ripple is really just supposed to be wholesale, like they're all saying, why are we discussing in the first article retail and then small to mid-sized enterprise with Temenos and East West Bank? That's a question I got. Why in this article that's clearly Rack Bank and BDO are running on Ripple, why are we talking about remittances? Because that's for like poor people and shit. Small money, okay? Now go to the 24-second mark. 24-second mark. You're looking at a Ripple page because it says, oh, look, Team Ripple right there. This article's 3 years ago. Look right. Let me read this to you. And there's another example. It's called I Remit. I Remit, the largest what? Non-bank remittance service provider in the Philippines, will expand its use of what? Ripple's ODL. See what I'm saying? So now we got Ripple. It's on a fucking Ripple page talking about I Remit and that they are non-bank remittance utilizing Ripple's ODL. You know what that is? XRP. On-demand liquidity is XRP. Okay, it's not that Ripple Rapid or X Rapid. No, this is fucking ODL. No holds barred. How's Ripple's? They running on non-bank remittance? That's like not wholesale, everybody. That sounds to me like this is Stellar's area, doesn't it? Yes. So now we have like our third example of how poor people, I'll just use that term, because Ripple's designed for banks and wholesale movement. I just showed you right now, 3, 4, 5 banks in the past 1 minute that are running non-bank remittances utilizing Ripple's ODL. It says it right there. So it's not me making it up. We all know, if you know anything about fucking Ripple and XRP, it's not designed for small to mid-sized enterprise. People like you and me, it's not designed for. I think we all know this, right? Right. Okay. Well, why the fuck am I coming up with article after article with this? Because I think I don't have the answer. I'm just going to say there's something going on at Ripple. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have the answer. I'm just showing you. Ripple is all up in the stellar circle area. I'm showing the evidence right here. It's not an opinion. It's a fucking Ripple page. You can see it for yourself. Okay. Next page. Go to 36-second mark. 36-second mark. You have an article here. Says Ripple announced that Japan's money transfer provider SBI Remit, Philippines mobile payment systems Coins PH. Okay, so we're talking about, okay, look, Coins PH is like a little crypto exchange and stuff, and SBI Remit, that's an actual bank. But let me tell you something. People like you and me, we use remittances. Banks, this is not a wholesale. deal right here with SBI Remit. They're dealing with poor people sending money to each other. So again, I find it very interesting how Ripple's in that. See, Stellar would fit more, but see, we're dealing with banks. But then Ripple also deals with non-banks too. We saw that in the articles I just showed you. So Ripple is providing ODL to non-banks for remittances for small to mid retail. We saw the retail, and so it's just very interesting how Ripple's in on both of those. Go to the 46-second mark. 46-second mark. Here is where the Qatar National Bank Qatar National Bank is linked up in the Philippines, and they have a remittance service. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of Filipinos, and I have friends or family that are Filipino, so I know this. So a lot of them will work in Qatar in the Middle East and send money home to the Philippines. Okay, so these are not rich people. These are people that they're poor. So they're sending remittances. The Philippines is a massive market for sending remittances, right? This ain't wholesale remittance. What we're seeing right here with Qatar National Bank, Ripple partner, utilizing Ripple technology, sending cross-border payments. These are like maids and servants. These are not multi-million-dollar companies sending wholesale. This is retail and probably small to mid-sized business at best, utilizing Ripple. So what I'm showing you here is I'm building a case, but I'm just showing you that Ripple's all up in the small business just as much as the big, okay? Lastly, go to the 51-second mark. Here's my last example. 51-second mark. Now, Ripple is working with a company called PYYPL, and they team up to offer what? Here we go again, low-cost cross-border payments to the Philippines. Everybody, look, Ripple has always been about doing the same thing that Stellar and Circle's doing. I don't know of any bank. Ripple and PYYPL team up to offer low-cost cross-border payments to the Philippines. We're talking about poor people, all right? This is not about Bank of America sending $5 billion. No, this is about poor Filipinos sending money from wherever they work to their family, okay? This has nothing to do with wholesale. And you got Ripple all up in this with the XRP. So what I've just done, yeah, and here's an article here about, okay, I'm going to show you a Google AI search that I did. See, it's starting to make sense now. Just Revenant says it's starting to make sense. See what I'm saying? That's why I'm coming at. Now I'm going to kind of step out and say, that's what Ripple's trying to do is shut down Circle or take Circle, shut down Stellar, because Ripple's going to try to control it all. That's the whole design. This shit goes back 7-8 years in videos that I've been showing right here, right now. The search I want you to do, I sent you the search. Are Ripple and PYYPL working together in the Philippines? That's the Google AI search. Are Ripple and PYYPL working together in the Philippines? Okay, we just read that article. What does it say here? Yes, Ripple and PYYPL have a relationship. Listen to this. In the Philippines that involves on-demand liquidity. That is XRP for poor people. Okay. So now I'm playing both sides of this, but Ripple is utilizing its service not just for wholesale. Here's another example. I've shown example after example. In my opinion, I think Ripple is trying to take over Circle to control it and or shut down Stellar. or be a competitor to Stellar. Maybe see Stellar can't really go to banks because Stellar's not making deals with these banks. Lasso Brian, Lasoi Brian says, I am working with Philippines in Qatar, and they are using Ripple to send money. Yes, here's your article here with Temenos. Okay, so here's the article. The article with Temenos. Here's the title. Temenos T24 Core Banking integrates solutions with Ripple technology. Okay. Now, what we got going on, and you got Deloitte mixed up in this and stuff. I'm not going to get into this article because I'm going to go on to the next subject. But let me wrap up what I just showed you along with the articles. What we just saw over the past, 10, 15 minutes was Ripple utilizing their technology around the world for wholesale and for retail. Specific words stating, retail, small to mid-sized enterprise. What my belief is this. After showing evidence, not my opinion, after showing evidence of at least 5, 6, 7 articles, it looks very clear to me. If I was somebody that was new and I was going to ask you, so after watching my show for this 15 minutes, the past 15 minutes, what would you think Ripple is and what does it do? You would respond to me, well, Ripple sounds like a payment company. And it sounds like they do probably have, because I didn't show all the articles or Ripple's with JP Morgan, but if you were a brand new person watching, you'd be like, well, it sounds like Ripple's a payment company or something, like a money mover company or something. And I'd be like, okay. And what they do is they hook up retail and small to mid-sized enterprise businesses. And I'd be like, well, okay, according to the articles, because you're a new person. And it sounds to me like maybe Ripple does handle big accounts as well. So for what I just showed a brand new person, you'd think that Ripple's a company that handles poor Filipinos sending money back and forth or whatever, just small stuff, right? That's what I would get if I was new and I was reading these articles. I'd assume that Ripple was a company that would handle payments for poor people. Well, not according to Ripple. Ripple's trying to tell us that their technology is for wholesale. And I've always wondered, why? Does Ripple not work with poor people or something? Or, oh, that's too low. That's $1,000 transfer. That won't work. I always wonder, is there something wrong? Why on the Ripple network, you can't send $1,000? I always kind of just believed Ripple, and they said they're wholesale. Okay, they're wholesale, I guess. But then I started looking at articles and really looking at them and reading them deeper. And then just this latest one with Temenos and East West Bank and utilizing ODL and retail and small to mid-size. So you know what? This is Cryptoholic's opinion. I don't know what's going to happen to Circle. You got Ripple with Onafric. Now, if this is in Africa, and this is where, when I was new to crypto, you kind of just believe everything you hear or whatever. But then over time, you start to question, why this? How do you know about that? So what I've come to look at is Ripple's all over Africa. They're utilizing what's a company called MFS Africa, which then joined up with Australia and the United Kingdom stuff, and they changed the name to Onafric, ONAFRIQ, and Ripple's all up in that. But then I started thinking, well, who are those customers there? They're not all banks. They're not all these wholesale. No, they're remittance companies. So that means like they're dealing with poor people. But I thought Ripple was just wholesale. See what I mean? So Ripple's not just wholesale. I don't care these Dilip Rao guys. Well, Ripple, the retail is not our intended customer, and da da da. Yeah, but the retail sure's your fucking intended customer in Africa, isn't it? With Anafric? Because last time I checked, Africa doesn't have a whole lot of multi-billion-dollar businesses. A lot of it's Kalahari and open space and the Hutus and the Tutsis and all. Everybody's trying to kill each other. We got the Bloods and the Crips here, but and all the MS-13s and shit doing the same. But from me stepping back, looking at Ripple, it's not wholesale. It's everything from what I've seen. At the end of the day, according to Ripple, money is money. See what I'm saying? That's a very good little statement right there from MAB 1914. So Crypto Hulk, what is your what do you think about? Now, this is just my opinion. From what I just showed you, I think Ripple's going to take over all this shit. Jed McCaleb got kind of like kicked out of Ripple. They used him for his technology, kicked him out. So he got mad. This is my opinion, and for what I studied. And he started Stellar, another payment system to try to compete with Ripple. I don't know. I mean, I can't really say on all this. All I can go, let's go back to the facts, because that's where it's easy. From the facts, I'm seeing a company called Ripple hooking up small to mid-size and retail enterprises all around the world, which is direct competition to Circle Stellar. And then I'm also seeing Ripple hooking up all the biggest banks in the world. So what Crypto Hulk's looking at is Ripple is hooking up everybody, not just wholesale. Now, I can't tell you whether to keep your Stellar or sell it off. Just do what you got to do. Maybe Ripple takes over. Maybe Ripple takes Circle. This is my belief. Maybe Ripple takes Circle and buys it and then controls that tech and then just does nothing with it. See, somebody said something like, well, Ripple could buy Circle, but then they'd have to, because Coinbase gets paid and they have some kind of agreement with Circle. And Circle has to pay Coinbase every month. Yeah, Ripple could buy Circle and just fucking bury it and never use it. And Coinbase ain't getting shit. And then Ripple can go on to use their XRP. Got it? Haven't you ever heard of that? I mean, this is very common. You buy your competitor and you just fucking bury what you buy. Yeah, it costs you money in the short run. So if I'm McDonald's, I buy Burger King and fucking bury it. Now there's no Burger King. Now my business size just doubled or tripled. And whatever 4 billion Ripple spends today, 2-3 years from now, Ripple will probably be worth 100 billion. So they want to see, it won't matter. 4 billion will be like peanuts. When Ripple's worth $1 trillion company, which it never will because it's the government, but let's just go with it. Ripple buys Circle for 4 billion, 5 billion, 10. I don't care what the number is, 10 billion. Guess what? 5 years from now, and I'm just giving examples. If Ripple right now is worth 15 billion and they got to come up with 5 billion to buy, or 10 billion to buy Circle, then Ripple goes to a valuation of 5 billion because they just spent 10, right? Well, guess what? In 5 years, Ripple could be worth 50 billion. So you spend 10 billion to gain like 35, 40 billion. That's how. So they're not going to be paying Circle. So these dumbasses out there are like, oh, they got contracts. No, Ripple can buy that business and just fucking bury it and not have to give Coinbase shit. And Coinbase can still be a part owner of Circle. Hey, that's great. But Ripple's majority shareholder, majority owner, they take the company, fucking bury it, and Coinbase can't say shit. Got it. All righty. That was an interesting one. And so again, I mean, I don't know how all this works out in the end. You know, what I'm focusing on, look, the he said and the she said, and if they do that, look, I don't care about all that. Let's look at what do we know. What we know is that Ripple does small to mid-size and large transmissions of value. So whether who owns Circle or Ripple, I don't care. Whether they own it, they sell it, whatever, I don't care about that. What I'm showing is that Ripple has all the capabilities to move all the money. Whereas Circle and Stellar are, it seems right now, set up for smaller amounts of money, smaller use case. Look, I don't know how all this goes down. So it's just, I'm bringing it up just so you can see what's going on from how I look at stuff. And it's fun. It's interesting. But I'm not a quarterback here calling the next play. I'm just showing you information where XRP is being utilized at the lowest levels. And if Ripple wanted to, or the Ripple technology wanted to, it could probably put the other two out of business. I don't know if it will, this, that. I don't care. Personally, I don't care. The only thing I'm here for is to make money, and a lot of it, like millions. So however this shit works out, if Stellar stays and makes you millions, look, I don't care. I'm just showing you that Ripple can do all the things. Whereas, see, because I've been in crypto for 5 years, and all I've ever heard was, oh, Ripple's just for banks and wholesale. Not once would I ever think that Ripple be used for small remittances for poor Filipinos who move from the Philippines to Qatar to go be a waiter or at a restaurant or something. Ripple's handling those transactions. The XRP is. But that's not what I was taught for 5 years. So that's why I'm doing this show, to show you that, hey, this whole Ripple thing, it's much more extensive than I have ever thought. They're doing small retail transactions. Ripple's doing retail transactions. No, I would always fight and say, nope, Ripple's for wholesale, only for banks. Nope. But that's incorrect, because I've shown you articles right here where the Ripple's XRP on-demand liquidity and shit is being used by poor people to send money. And I gave you 5-6 examples of that. So however it works out, everybody, I hope and wish us all luck in whatever investments we have. That's why I don't put everything into one crypto. No. S. Harib 1, thank you very much for that. Dance Girl, grateful for your research. I know you work hard. Yeah, this channel really, I want to produce the best content that I can. I don't know if it's the best content on the internet. I'm not in competition with anybody. It's just I do my best, and that's all that I'm doing. I don't give a shit about any other channel, or I'm not trying to meet other content producers and, hey, let's collab. I'm not trying to do a fucking thing with anybody. All right. Blackrock. Now, we've gone over this story before. Let's go over it again real quick. I always get new people to the show. Somebody tried saying, oh, you're showing old articles. No, it's actually pretty important. Look, I don't care about dates. Hey, I show our old articles here all the time. We go back 12 years and shit. So this article maybe is 2 weeks old. But I show stuff, it's 12 years. So everything's relative. Now, what we got going on here, this, again, is popping up because this is massive. I want you to understand something. I'm going over this again BlackRock issues a Bitcoin warning. It says the Bitcoin source code could be rendered flawed or ineffective by quantum computing. This is fucking massive. Why? Why am I going over this again? Because number one, I get new people all the time to this channel. We get people that know nothing about crypto. They've been watching all the fake news channels, and they go out and they buy Bitcoin. And then by some miracle, they find Crypto Hulk channel. Welcome back to Crypto Hulk show. YT just has to like shut the program off. You notice? I've been going for 45 minutes, and all of a sudden I start talking about Bitcoin getting hacked, and then the channel they shut it off, right? I'm like, wow, this is so fake. This platform is so fucking Sesame Street. Here's the title, so the artificial intelligence can hear it. BlackRock, the biggest. Okay, just in case you're new, I'm going over this article again because this is so massive that, and a lot of new people are going to get wrecked. Okay, so my job is to prepare you for what could happen. This is BlackRock, the biggest financial investment company in the entire world. Just put that in perspective. Now, what is their job? Investing. BlackRock issues a Bitcoin warning, and it says Bitcoin source code could be rendered flawed or ineffective by quantum computing. Oh, man. The biggest asset manager in the world has acknowledged the potential of a critical threat that could weigh on Bitcoin in the future. In its updated prospectus for its iShares Bitcoin Trust. See, before, like a week or two ago, this wasn't in there. Do you understand this? BlackRock now realizes, oh, damn. And I was telling you guys about quantum computing and all the hacking shit. I was getting into that about 6 months ago, getting into it really heavy the past 6 months. And then all of a sudden, BlackRock comes out with this. I've already been saying already, all this Bitcoin, all this crypto shit, unless you get HBAR crypto, because HBAR is working with Seals Q, and they're working on quantum proof computing, okay? That's why Ripple is a partner of HBAR, because Ripple is working on getting that protection from quantum computing hacks. That's why Ripple is working with Algorand, Hedera, because Ripple is, David Schwartz even told you, they can get into the XRP ledger. He told you that, okay? So what Hedera, this is my opinion, but that's why Ripple, and in the past, that's why Ripple hooked up with Hedera, because they're working on quantum computing hacking prevention. So if you want, that's going to be, I can't wait. Hedera is supposed to release Hedera's working with Seals Q. Seals Q is more the hardware. Hedera is more the software. And they're working on computing and microchips and stuff like that. Seals Q is supposed to release like the last quarter of this year, start selling their quantum resistant software, hardware stuff. And that's when I really think HBAR is going to take off in price. Because when word gets out, hey, HBAR is used in quantum hack prevention, people are going to want that software bad. So let's look here. BlackRock's saying all this now. They had to add it. BlackRock had this Bitcoin Trust thing out, and then all of a sudden now they're like, you know what? Bitcoin's going to be hacked. We need to tell people in a nice, calm way. That's what they're doing right here. Like, they've never done this before, and now they're coming out telling you, BlackRock is telling people that, yeah, with Bitcoin, why doesn't Ripple make an announcement? Have you noticed that? Ripple has stock. They sell stock. Ripple offers private stock and stuff. Has Ripple put out a disclaimer? I haven't heard anything about that. Has Ripple Labs, when the software company that Brad Garlinghouse and shit works for, has Ripple itself put out disclaimers that their softwares are going to be susceptible to quantum hacks? No, they haven't. Has BlackRock with Bitcoin? Yes, they have. Are you seeing that right there? That I'm aware of, Ripple, the company, hasn't put out disclosures for risk factors for quantum computing. I have not seen or heard of it. Trust me, you and me both would have heard it, right? Oh, Ripple acknowledges they could get hacked. I mean, that would probably make it across my desk. But what we're reading right here is BlackRock is basically telling the crypto. Let's read a portion here. In quote, in the past, flaws in the source code for digital assets have been exposed and exploited. Let's go to the next paragraph. The cryptography underlying Bitcoin, listen to this. The cryptography underlying Bitcoin could prove to be flawed or ineffective. Oh, nice. I think they ought to read this at the Bitcoin conference. Isn't there a Bitcoin conference going on right now? They should be reading this to them. Hey, everybody, I would probably be attacked and killed. Hey, everybody, it's Crypto Hall, and I got great news. I got great news. BlackRock says that the cryptography underlying Bitcoin, listen up, could be flawed or ineffective. Hey, go Bitcoin. Oh my God. Which could result in Bitcoin becoming ineffective. Oh, Crypto Hawk, better head for the exit door. In any of these circumstances, a malicious actor may be able to compromise the security of the Bitcoin network or take the trust's Bitcoin away from BlackRock. BlackRock is admitting that when this quantum attack occurs, it's going to shut down. It could reverse transactions. It could, everybody who has money in the Bitcoin trust, that somebody could steal the Bitcoin and take it for themselves. BlackRock is actually telling you this. Have you heard about anything like this with Ripple or XRP? No. Oh man, this is so not good. That's probably why YT decided to pull this show off the air about 10 minutes ago, because I started talking about this and like, oh shit, cut it now, cut it. It's that Crypto Hulk guy. Fuck, stop him. I'll tell you what, when I loaded that video, I made little short videos, right? Of this story. I tried to, okay, now I opened up a brand new Facebook account, and most of my videos, they load in about, now I'm trying to be good on the Facebook and the TikTok, and I'm trying to be good with the titles and not say what it's really about, so I got a little lazy, not totally, but a little. And when I told that Bitcoin, when I had that Bitcoin title, that video took 5 minutes to load on Facebook. Normally they load in 30 seconds or something. Bam, done. This sucker was like taking forever and ever. I think the Facebook moderation group was reviewing the video. I did the same thing on Facebook. I made it a little more tight, the title a little more careful, and I posted on TikTok 5 fucking minutes. TikTok, usually I could load a video in 15 seconds or so. TikTok's fast, okay? I could load a 1.5 minute video on TikTok in roughly 20 seconds, something like that. It took 5 fucking minutes. So I'm like, oh shit, this Bitcoin with Blackrock, like it's, and that's why I think YouTube shut this video off and I had to go back on because they knew that this show was, yeah, I think they already know. But just a little FYI for you. Linda McKinney, thank you very much for that tax-free donation. Zoltar, now Zoltar has...
I see you over there.
I see you over there.
Come on over and let Zoltar be sharing with you your fortune. You may have heard this, but Zoltar is here to tell you you can believe it. Age is simply a matter of mind. If you don't mind, then my friend, it doesn't matter. So go on, be carefree like a little baby. But first, give Zoltar a little money, and I will give you a fortune. My name is Zoltar the Gypsy, and I have some words of wisdom to bring you much happiness. As you travel through this life, remember this. If you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. Go ahead and let Zoltar tell you more.
Oh my God. You can put the little coins in there. I'm going to contact this company today because it doesn't print out the fortunes. And that's why I can't read off to you what cryptos to buy because Zoltar's machine, something's busted in there. So I'm going to call and complain for them to send me another one. And then what will happen is he'll actually print out the fortune, and then I'll tear it off and I'll read to you which cryptos you're supposed to buy and stuff. All right. I think that'll be a wrap for today. That'll be it for the morning show. I've got a PM show with one. Yeah, I got a PM show. I got 1 or 2 articles lined up here. So I'm pretty sure we'll have a PM. I don't know, but it's looking pretty good. Right now, I've got a time of 7:50 a.m. So if I made another show, it would be at about probably 5 o'clock p.m. or 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So that is it for today. Yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you on my next broadcast.